Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgy, and welcome to another episode of Comic Class, the show on this channel every single week where we just geek out about comic books. And today is a very special episode because I've been talking about these brand new X-Men and Inhuman books for a long time, and now that they have finally started coming out, I am going to dedicate this entire episode to talking about each and every single one of them. Or Marvel could go ahead and announce some brand new line of books, in which case we'll just cover that. Yeah, okay, listen. Normally, whenever Marvel comes in and makes a very vague announcement about some new event that they have planned, I don't cover it because I look at their very, very vague announcements and I go, they're going to say more later. There's nothing to talk about right now other than just making crazy speculations. So I'm going to sit back and wait until we get some new information about this. However, with this new Marvel Legacy line of books that they're going to be putting out, yes, again, the description we have gotten is vague. Yes, again, there is not much to talk about, but oh my gosh, is there a lot to speculate on. This is going to be one of those episodes where I just come in here and give you all my crazy theories and concerns and hopes for what this possibly could be. Because even though they said almost nothing about what Marvel Legacy is going to be, what they did say does lead to a lot of speculation. So that's what we're going to do on today's episode. Again, I am very sorry to every single person out there who has been waiting for me to talk about these X-Men and Inhuman books. We're going to have to push those back until the end of May. But at the end of May, as long as Marvel doesn't do something else, I will come in and talk about every single one of the new books that have come out. But for today, let's go ahead and talk about what the heck Marvel Legacy could possibly be. Now, here's all the information that we have so far. It is going to be a new banner that is going to be on all the Marvel books. They're going to be coming out this fall. It's going to kick off with Marvel Legacy number 1, a 50-page one-shot written by Jason Aaron and drawn by Asad Ribic. And they say that it is going to span the entire history of the Marvel Universe. It's going to tie old characters to new characters, give you an idea of what the Marvel Universe is up to at this point. They described it as being, if you have not read any Marvel comics in a long time, you could pick up this book and now fully be able to understand the Marvel Universe, which is not a bad idea. I actually think that Marvel does need to come in and clarify a couple of things to fans who have not been around for a while about what the heck has changed, and that would make it easier for people to start picking up some of their new series, so that part's okay. But they also said that this would set the stage for the next chapter of the Marvel Universe with hope, heroism, heart, and the earth-shattering return of a beloved Marvel mainstay. Okay, let's go ahead and address the giant, massive, reality-breaking elephant in the room right now. Marvel, we're not stupid. We know what this is. This is Marvel Rebirth. This is a giant, oversized one-shot that is going to kick off a new banner across all of your books that is going to create a brand new tone for all of your books, and it's all about returning hope, heroism, and heart to your books with an earth-shattering return of a beloved Marvel mainstay. Yeah, DC Rebirth was a giant oversized one-shot that was meant to kick off a brand new banner across all their books that was going to infuse all their books with the tone of hope, love, and legacy, all the things that they say made up DC Comics, and they did this with the earth-shattering return of Wally West, a DC mainstay. Marvel, you're not even trying to hide this. This is almost exactly the same description, except there are some differences. When DC came out and announced DC Rebirth, I applauded that like crazy because that was an apology for the New 52. You guys know me, I was not a fan of the New 52, and neither were many other people as it was showing in the sales. And the reason why the New 52 was not doing well is because it kind of was a betrayal of what DC Comics stood for. And that was the great thing about Rebirth. When they came out and announced Rebirth, they came out and apologized. They didn't come in here and go, oh, this is a brand new giant thing that we're doing over at DC Comics. They came out and said, I love this universe, but there's something missing. We need to return all the things that made DC Comics to DC Comics. We need to return hope. We need to return love. We need to return legacy. We need to return the idea of these characters acting like these characters back to these books. And when I heard that, I said, you know what? I'm down. this sounds like you guys realize what your problem is, and it sounds like you're going to try and fix it. Marvel, I'm not saying you don't have problems. Hell, I just made an entire video talking about all the problems you have. However, I don't know if you think your problems are the same things that I think are your problems. And one of the reasons I'm saying that is because recently your senior vice president of sales and market came out and said, quote, people didn't want any more diversity. They didn't want female characters out there. And I made a video talking about how that is indeed not your problem. There are many other problems you have, and diversity is not one of them. So when right after that statement gets made, you then come out here and go, hey man, we're going to make this book, and it's all about returning a big important Marvel mainstay out there. It really has me kind of nervous because it makes me think you don't realize what your problem is. As I said, you do have a lot of problems. But I need you to come out here and say something to me that makes me realize, oh, they get it. They understand what their problem is. However, there are a few things. Like I said, this video is going to be a lot of speculation. A lot of speculation. And that speculation is going to begin with me focusing on hope, heroism, and heart. These are the three things that you made sure to point out in your description of this event. And in a way, that is kind of some of the stuff that's been missing from the front line of Marvel Comics. There are tons of books at Marvel that do focus on these things. There are tons of books that focus on what it means to be a hero, on what it means to have hope, on what it means to have heart. However, your big main title books, they've kind of been lacking that. Your giant main titles, your giant events, they're kind of about nothing but, oh my gosh, the world is ending, this is the worst thing ever, and who do I trust now? And we need to go out there and fight other heroes. So yeah, I'll give you that. It would be nice to see a little bit more hope in your books, a little bit more heart in your books. So, okay, that's got me intrigued. Also, another thing that was confirmed in this book is that any older character, any character that has been around for a while, you're going to go back to the original numbering of their series. And that's actually a thing that has me kind of excited as well, because another problem that you guys have had is you just keep putting out too many freaking books. You just put out one book after another, and then you cancel that book immediately so that you can relaunch it again all over. And that has created a mentality among your readers that they don't need to read these books because screw it, they're just going to get relaunched again in just a matter of weeks anyways. Also, when you're constantly relaunching books, it tends to also be because you have a giant, massive upheaval in your universe that just causes everything to be scattered around and everything to change again. And when everything is changing so rapidly and so constantly, it's kind of hard for us readers to get any kind of attachment to these characters. So if you're going back to the old numbering, that to me says you don't have any plans on relaunching these titles for a while. You don't have any plans of returning any of them to number one all over again in just a matter of weeks, which means you also don't have any plans to come in here and just completely change your universe all over again, forcing these books to be relaunched. So okay, I'm reading a whole lot into this one tiny small thing that you have announced, but that is the hope that I am getting from that. However, beyond that, I don't really have many hopes for this. Again, not because I don't think it's going to go well, but because, well, you just haven't said much about it. And as I said, this is coming right after your senior vice president of sales said some kind of alarming stuff about the possible future of your universe. So this idea of returning back to these older characters, it does have me kind of concerned that you're going to come in here and then interrupt a bunch of stories that have been building up. You're going to come in here and go, well, a lot of these characters, they're speaking to a younger generation. Let's just push them aside for now. I know that you guys came out here and said that's not what you're going to do. You're not going to come in here. You're not going to take away any of these more progressive characters that you have created. And that's good. But I'm still going to hold on to that concern until I actually see the fruits of this labor, until I actually see what legacy is. Now, I do have some other concerns, and the biggest concern is simply the fact that this whole legacy thing, it's coming out of nowhere. And don't come in here and say, oh, well, we've been playing this all along. BS. This is you hitting the big, giant emergency, our sales are going down button. And because of that, I really wonder how much forethought this is going to have. I really wonder how much planning is going to go into these books. I really wonder if you're going to be able to come in here and get everything in row in time before these books start coming out. Now, in all fairness, DC Rebirth was also a giant hit the panic button moment for them. Difference is, they had Jeff Johns working on those books. And the reason why I say that as a difference is because Jeff Johns is the biggest DC fanboy out there. He is a guy who understands every single character in that universe and understands who they are and why they need to be there and what stories to tell with them. I know it sounds like I'm coming in here and just kissing up to this guy, but hey man, he has spent his entire career basically establishing, I know who these characters are. I know what makes these characters work. So if there was anybody at all at DC who I would trust to have in his back pocket a emergency reboot of the entire universe plan, it's that guy. And with Rebirth, he kind of proved I was right. He kind of proved, yeah, I did have a plan of what to do with these characters. I did have a way out. I did know how to write them all. I did know what to tell other writers to do with these characters. But over at Marvel, yeah, you don't really have anybody like that. And I'm not saying you don't have great writers. You've got a lot of great writers working at Marvel. But there are great writers who know how to write a certain character. They know how to write what they're doing at the moment. I don't really see any writer over there who I would point to and go, that's the guy who knows who every single person in the Marvel Universe should be. Maybe Mark Waid? But yeah, man, aside from that, I don't really see anybody who I would trust lending your entire universe's future over to. And you're putting Jason Aaron on this book, and I love Jason Aaron. He is one of my favorite writers out there. His Thor series has been spectacular from start to present. There has not been a moment of that series that I have looked at and gone, well, this is clearly upsetting. Everything, whether it was Thor Odin's son as the God of Thunder or Jane Foster as the new Thor, that entire series has been spectacular. I've also really been enjoying his Doctor Strange. This is a guy who has been doing a great job with the characters that you have given to him, but I don't think that dude has a how to fix Marvel Comics plan just sitting in his back pocket. Maybe he can come up with one before it's time for this book to come out, but I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant. Also, and this is a small concern that I have, but while I'm on the topic of this giant 50-page one-shot that they're putting out, I am a little bit concerned about what the price of this issue is going to be. Because don't get me wrong, the idea of Marvel putting out here a one-shot that just gives everybody every bit of information that they need to know in order to get everybody back into their books, that is a smart idea. However, when DC did that exact thing with Rebirth, they charged $2.99 for it. It was a giant, massive issue, $2.99, because they realized if this is important for everyone to read, we need to make sure everyone can read it. Marvel doesn't think like that. Marvel is all about that bank. Marvel will charge a full extra $1 for just adding 4 extra pages into their book that are nothing but a backup story written by someone else that has nothing to do with anything, just because they realize you will pay that extra $1. So Marvel, if you want people to read this 50-page one-shot, you have to make it cost $3.99. $2.99 is asking way too much. Hell, I would love it if you made it cost $1 and just realized, hey man, we're going to lose some money on this, but it'll pay off in the long term. But I know that's not going to happen, and $2.99 ain't gonna happen. So $3.99. You cannot go above $3.99 on this. If this is that important, if this is what you need to get people reading your books again, $3.99 is the max. However, I guarantee you, I will put money on the table right now betting that there is no way this thing is going to cost less than $5.99. In fact, knowing Marvel, this could cost $9.99. I mean, that's how much that Spider-Man issue cost that they recently put out, and it's roughly the same size that they say this thing is going to be. And yeah, Marvel, you have to realize it's not always about making a ton of cash all at once. You have to stop with these get-rich-quick schemes and actually think about just planting seeds, and seeds are cheap. Also, I gotta be totally honest with you, I'm really wondering how the heck Marvel Legacy is going to tie into anything? Because with Rebirth, DC doesn't really have anything going on over there. They basically just let their writers do whatever they want to do. So they didn't need to come in here and go, okay, well, this is how this ties into this. They were able to just make it happen. But with Legacy, this is coming right after Secret Empire, so does it tie into Secret Empire in some way? But then it's also coming after Generations, and you say it has something to do with Generations, but does Generations have anything to do with Secret Empire? And you said you don't have any more events coming for 18 months after this, which, hey, I applaud you for that, but you've got Edge of Venomverse already announced. Did you forget that one's happening? Because that kind of looks like an event. So, as I said, this video today, it wasn't really anything concrete. It wasn't me coming in here and going, well, here's all the things that we can tell from this. These are just the speculations that I have been able to make on the vague premise of Marvel Legacy. I know they're going to come out here and reveal a lot more information, so as they come in here and reveal more information, I will be making more videos talking about that. But at the moment, there are signs I see in here that have me a little bit concerned, but there are also signs in here that actually have me hopeful. Like I said, that whole going back to the original numbering, it does make me think they're going to stop coming in here and just ripping the tablecloth out from underneath all their books out every 6 months so that they can change it all up again. It does make it seem like they're going to let these writers do what they want to do and tell these stories and stop forcing giant crossovers in there, which is what Marvel has needed to do for a while. So, okay, it's got me hopeful. Plus, I can't lie to you guys, that whole line about hope, heroism, and heart, Marvel, if you guys are serious about that, then alright, I'm intrigued, because as I said, the Marvel Universe over the past couple of years has just gotten way too depressing. Every couple of weeks, there's another major character death, there's a hero fighting another hero, there's some giant crisis that is going to change everything forever. I mean, if you want to know how bad it's gotten, after they announced Legacy, they then had to come back out and say, Marvel Legacy does not hinge on a character death. There is not going to be anyone dying in Marvel Legacy. Marvel, when you actually have to come out here and clarify you're not killing someone, because that's what the norm has become, yeah, man, maybe you've gotten a little bit too depressing for people to want to read your books. So if you guys are serious about bringing hope back to your comics, alright, fine. I'll bite. I'm intrigued. I will sit here and wait for you to tell me more, because this could go in a very positive direction for you. It could go in a very negative direction, but could also go in a very positive direction. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. However, there is one more bit of speculation that I want to make today, and it's the bit of speculation that everybody is making, which is that earth-shattering return of a beloved Marvel mainstay that they mentioned. Now, a lot of people are asking, who on Earth could be coming back from the dead? Could it be the Hulk? I don't think so. Bruce Banner was killed off just like a year ago. It seems way too soon to bring him back already. Tony Stark? Again, he's in a coma right now, so he could come back at any moment, but at the same time, this happened just a few months ago. It is way too soon to be bringing that guy back. Could it be Steve Rogers? Hey man, that all depends on the end of Secret Empire. It is way too soon to be asking whether or not that guy is going to return at the end of that storyline. It literally just began last week. In fact, I even saw somebody saying that could be the Fantastic Four, which to me seems actually like the best candidate. Because, yeah, the Fantastic Four were all about hope, heroism, heart. They were a family. They were a team of explorers who kind of kicked off the entire Marvel Universe. So, yeah, if you wanted to bring back anybody who would kind of be a symbol of that return to the stuff that used to make Marvel Comics what Marvel Comics was, the Fantastic Four would actually be a perfect fit for that. And I know that Fox owns the movie rights for them, and that Disney doesn't want Marvel using the characters that Fox owns in their books, but as we've already seen with the return of the X-Men books, Disney has kind of wisened up to this and realized, we kind of need some of these characters around in the comics, even if we can't use them in the movies. So it does look like it's possible for the Fantastic Four to return. However, you guys want to know what I think? You guys want to know what I'm hoping for? Marvel. DC apologized for the New 52 by bringing back the classic Wally West. And no offense to the new Wally West, I actually really like that character. I think they're doing some great stuff with him over in the current Flash book, but the old Wally West, He was a big part of so many comic book readers' life. He was a big part of what they enjoyed about DC Comics. He was a character that was legacy. He was full of hope. He was a family character. So it was important to bring him back because he was a symbol of everything that these readers were missing from DC Comics. Marvel, you want to do the same? In fact, you want to one-up DC on this one? You know what was also a major part of a lot of comic book readers' life? You know what was also an important, giant staple in your universe? I'm just gonna leave this sitting right here. Yeah, you want to make news? You want to get those old readers back? You want to show people that you are serious about returning to that day and age back before Civil War screwed everything up and everything became about giant depressing crossovers? Maybe it's not so much something that you need to return, but something that you need to undo. Again, just gonna leave that up there on the screen and slowly walk away as I say thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think about Marvel Legacy down below or on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. Thank you very much for tuning in. And again, just gonna slowly walk away. Marvel, undo one more day for the love of God!